Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. So I figured it had been a while since we just sat down and looked at a random internet story, so that is exactly what we are going to do today, because a former Bachelorette contestant has come out as trans. But the question on everyone's mind is he? So we're going to dive into that. But before we do, this is your reminder to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. If you are watching or listening on Spotify, make sure that you give me a review over there and follow the podcast over there as well. All of my other social medias, as always, are linked down below if you want to check me out on any of those. And with all of that, my name is Noelle. This is Just Say No. Let's get into it. Okay, so this story, I want to say that it's ridiculous, but just because of the times that we are living in, it's not actually outlandish whatsoever. Just from a baseline perspective, it is insane. And I first heard about this story because I was on TikTok and I saw a video that this guy, Josh Seiter, posted on TikTok, but I didn't think it was real. Like my immediate thought was that it was a troll. Like I didn't think that this was like an actual story. It just didn't even, it was such an outlandish video that you got me. Okay. But then last week, shout out to Amala Ekanobi. She posted a video about this. And when I saw her video, I was like, wait, no, I saw him posting this, but I just didn't think it was real. But on its face, it is real. But that's kind of what we're going to get into is he's sticking to his guns that he means this and that that he's serious, but no one believes him because it just feels like a load of hooey to be. Okay, but so let me just play for you guys because I've been yapping a lot and you guys are probably confused what I'm talking about. Let me play you the video that I initially saw just to start us off. Okay, well, first of all, as you guys can see, he only has 500 followers. So when I saw this video, I just didn't think that this was a legitimate or actual thing. Okay, so this is the video that I saw. Okay, so y'all understand. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like when I came across this on my For You page, this isn't real. This isn't real. This is not serious. But let me give you some backstory to who Josh Seiter is. Now that I've kind of introduced you to him, let me tell you his history. He has an extensive history in reality TV. Shocker. But none of this has really translated to actual success or clout, I guess you could say. Like, and to give you an idea of what I mean, because people go on reality TV shows with an end goal in mind most times, especially nowadays. For example, Hannah Brown, who was on The Bachelor, and then I believe she was the Bachelorette as well, and now she has a very successful podcast, and she's been on the New York Times bestselling list twice now. Or Nick Viall has his podcast, The Viall Files. He was a Bachelor. I think he was a Bachelor, and on his podcast he interviews very well-known personalities. The first one that comes to my head is Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So going on of these TV shows as essentially regular people, you come out on the other side and you have a level of status. And even if you've never heard of either of these people, they're making a lot of money. I mean, at the end of the day, whether or not you know them, they are having that level of success. And it's very clear through what he's been doing that this is what Josh Seiter was aiming for, and it just has not worked out for him. Until now, everyone's talking about him. I mean, I'm talking about him, so. But let's see here. His track record, he's dated people off of 90 Day Fiancé. I don't know if he was actually on the show or if he just dated people off of it, but I believe there are 2 women from that show that he has dated. And also Life After Lockup, he dated somebody off of that show. So he has a long dating history, even on shows that aren't necessarily dating shows. I mean, Life After Lockup, that's not what that show's necessarily about. But then he moved on to the big guns with The Bachelorette season 11 in 2015, but he was eliminated in the first week, I believe. So you don't typically get to know, like, someone who's eliminated in the first week of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, it doesn't typically become someone with a lot of status, because you're not on the show long enough for anyone to get to know you or care about you. Now, that's not always true. There are people who just have that personality and people really stick to them right away, but it's just not the norm. It's not common, and it certainly wasn't what happened for Josh Seiter. But anyways, so again, none of this is panning out the way that he's not getting Hannah Brown level of famous. He's not Nick Viall level of famous. And so, of course, his next move is to make an OnlyFans. And this might be a hot take, but I think it's really, really gross and shows a lack of self-respect when women do OnlyFans. But for some reason, when men do OnlyFans, it is just that much worse. It truly, there's something about it that is so much worse. And I will not be elaborating. Just with that brief history, he's already giving cuckoo. He's already giving loony bin. I mean, this is somebody who is clearly deprived of attention in their childhood and is seeking some way to compensate for that, and it's not going very well. But we haven't even gotten to we have barely scratched the surface of Josh Seiter, you guys. So then after all of this, back in July of 2023, Josh comes out as bisexual and says that he's dating this man named David, who's an exotic dancer, and then they got married. So, okay, that's a twist. Because when you look at pictures of Josh Seiter, he's a bodybuilder. His personality up until this point had been very masculine. And I'm not saying that you can't be masculine and gay. Of course, there are people come in all shades of whatever. But it comes back to, I'm not so sure how genuine any of this is. And a lot of people are starting to feel that way because he just has upped the ante so very much. 1 month after that, in August of 2023, this was posted on Instagram. It is with an extremely heavy heart that we share the tragic news of Joshua's unexpected passing. Although our heartache at Joshua's passing pains us beyond measure, we find comfort in knowing that he is finally at peace. And then it ends with saying, for anyone who is experiencing a mental health crisis or needs help, and then it gives the suicide hotline. Okay, so Josh is dead. But again, the theme of the episode, is he? A few days after that, though, he ended up posting this picture, with the caption, surviving depression and anxiety one day at a time with a smile. Brother, what right now is happening? So obviously it is July of 2024. We're talking about him. There's news stories about him. So obviously he was not dead. Obviously that was not real. He came out and said that someone hacked him and posted that he was dead. As we're going to get to know, or as you're already starting to gather with Joshua, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is true, what is legitimate versus what he's willing to do for attention. So, and I also, I just don't know who, again, he's not on the same level of, say, Hannah Brown. And I'm going to keep using them as examples because they are part of Bachelor Nation, and that's kind of the bubble here. He's not her. And I just don't know who would be hacking his account to say that he's dead. It's just so outlandish. Now, what do I know? What do I know? He could be telling the truth. This is my opinion. Don't come for me. But ladies and gentlemen, it does not stop there. His marriage to David did not last. It ended sometime in the last 12 months. It started and ended sometime in the last 12 months, I should say. And in May of this year, Josh came out as trans in a post. Dear warriors, I have struggled with my gender identity and resulting feelings of guilt and shame for as long as I can remember. I spent the last 3 decades taking great pains to keep this side of me private. I felt I had no choice, given my upbringing in a strictly religious conservative family. As I have gotten older, I have tried my hardest to project the expected image of a strong, masculine son and brother. However, I no longer want to hide who I am. I no longer want to deal with the mental turmoil that comes with suppressing such an important part of me. So I ask for your thoughts and prayers and patience as I transition. I know it will take time for everyone, including myself, to adjust. I simply ask that you accept me now, just as you did before. I love you all, Jay. So I guess Jay's his new name. I guess I've been dead naming him this whole video. So apologies, Jay. I am gagged. I'm gagged. Is he for real? Like that's the point of this video, is he for real? And I want to go through some things that have led myself and others to think maybe not. Maybe this is not as for real as he is presenting it to be. First and foremost, if you look, he's doing the Dylan Mulvaney thing of day six of being a girl. He's doing the whole like days of girlhood thing, just like Dylan did. And I just like when you look.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to jump on here and show my beautiful mug. I hope you guys are all doing great and having a good day, and I just wanted to remind you, when people say mean things about you, it's a reflection on them, it's not a reflection of you.
So people, I think that the internet is kind of split because some of the comments here, people are saying, don't pay attention to the mean comments. I know it's hard to do, so just take care of yourself. What brand is your lipstick? But then there are other people saying Halloween ain't for a few more months and stuff like that. But there definitely are people who are believing him. Now, what I really think is going on here is that he is, one, attention baiting. He is trying to get views. He's trying to get clicks, which is working. It's definitely working. But two, I think he's also trying to make the point that the left will accept you as a woman, even if you look like Josh Seiter and you just put lipstick on in a dress. I mean, that's all he has done. And people in the comments are like, you go, girl. Be for real. Be for real. And I'm not saying this without evidence. Here are just a couple of things. First of all, he did an interview with Alex Stein, which if you don't know Alex Stein, he's kind of just a giant troll. He does things such as, if you remember a couple of weeks ago during our Pride series, we talked about the tucking bathing suit that was in Target. He put that on and went to Target. He goes to school board meetings and just like creates a spectacle. This is his whole MO. And he did an interview with Josh Seiter. And in that interview, Alex is like, dude, I do this exact same thing. Just admit it's a bit. We can get past this. Just admit that it's a bit. And Josh is like, no, I'm living my authentic truth, which is buzzword central. I mean, just the way that he was talking, and it's hard. It's not hard to tell. Like, I'm 99% sure that this guy is trolling. But then it's also like, this is how they talk. I mean, you listen to these people fight or debate and they're like, this is my truth. I'm just living in my truth. Your truth is not my truth. My truth is different than your truth. This is my authentic true self. And that's exactly how he sounded in the Alex Stein interview. And in that interview, at one point, Alex asks him about competing in women's sports because he is a woman now and so he can. And Josh's response was that he was thinking about doing some like weightlifting competitions and stuff because the rules are pretty easy to get in. And it's like this whole, like it really felt like a right-wing skit. It felt like a badly scripted right-wing skit. And that is how this whole thing is coming off at the end of the day. So I don't know. But then when you look at his Instagram, he is following he's following all right-wing people. He's following Donald Trump. He's following the Daily Wire. He's following PragerU, libs of TikTok. I mean, he's following. It's obvious. I mean, it's just obvious. And I think most people see it. Most people see what he is doing. Because I think what he's doing is trying to prove a point for the right of, yeah, the left has gone so crazy that I, a humongous man, weightlifting, bulky, tattooed man, a man's man, can put on a dress and lipstick and talk like this and say, oh my God, you guys. And they're going to call me a woman and they're going to accept me as a woman and I'm going to be able to compete in women's sports. And on one hand, it's like, yeah, okay, like, cool. But I just feel like I feel like we've made this point so many times. And I also just don't know how many people are buying into it that it's going to be very effective, if that makes sense. I'm just not necessarily convinced that this is going to be a net positive for the movement. I don't think it'll harm anything at all, because at the end of the day, he is proving the point that you can put lipstick on a pig and they're going to say you can fly. I think I just combined 8 separate sayings, but my point stands. Okay, you guys, I'm curious to see what you think. Do you think that Josh Seiter is for real and he is trans, or is this a skit or a bit? Because I am pretty much certain that it's a bit. It feels incredibly obvious, but there are people in the comments who don't see it and believe that he is for real. And he is committed. I mean, it's been almost 2 months. He has committed. If it is a bit, the man has committed to it. And for that, hats off, sir. But that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you. And I will chat with you all next Monday. Bye.